Hello there! Ever tried to dig deep to get the message behind the ink of the word? Well then, welcome to our Bible study series. I am Bisola and this is Devotional Diaries. Can I just appreciate you for a moment? I just want to say thank you for being with Devotional Diaries so far. We have 22 episodes on Devotional Diaries, and on our Bible study series, we are entering Romans chapter 4 today, and I am so pleased that you have stayed with me thus far. Thank you so much. So today we dive into Romans chapter 4 from verse 1. Let's read along. Abraham was, humanly speaking, the founder of our Jewish nation. What did he discover about being made right with God? If his good deeds had made him acceptable to God, he would have had something to boast about. But that was not God's way. For the scriptures tell us, Abraham believed God, and God counted him as righteous because of his faith. So let's stop here quickly. Do you see the trend? If you have been following, you would notice that we have been talking a lot about our faith and what makes us right with God. And I like how Paul didn't just use a chapter to tell us that it is by faith that we are made right with God, but he keeps giving us different scenarios, drawing from different information from the past, to explain what it truly means to have faith in God and be made right with him. So he's saying here that if good deeds had made Abraham acceptable to God, then he would have had something to boast about, right? But the scriptures tell us that Abraham believed God. And it was because Abraham believed God that God counted him as righteous. So God counted him as righteous because of his faith, because he believed. You see, he didn't have anything to boast about. That was not God's way. Quickly, I think there's a difference between believing in the existence of God and believing in God. Believing God, right? So there's a difference between believing in the existence of God and believing in God. Okay, so what do I mean? When you believe in the existence of God, okay, fine, you acknowledge that, okay, there is God, there is the God that created the heavens and the earth. Yes, you believe in his existence, right? When you believe him, it means that you take him at his word. He says something and you hold on to it. You do not shake. You hold on till the very end, even when it seems like it's not forthcoming. What he said, it seems like it's not happening. But you hold on. That is you believing in God. That is when you believe God. So there is a difference. Okay, now let's move on to verse 4. When people work, their wages are not a gift, but something they have earned. But people are counted as righteous not because of their work, but because of their faith in God who forgives sinners. Again, let's just quickly stop here. When you work, imagine you work, and at the end of the month, your boss says, "Oh, you know what, Bisola, you have done so well. I just like the way the way you work in this company. You know what? Take this as a gift. Take this money as a gift." I would look at my boss and be like, I worked for it. I earned it. This is my wage. It's not a gift, right? I am being paid. Now, if you give me something apart from my salary, well then yes, it's a gift. But when I work, my wage is not a gift. It is something that I have earned. So Paul is telling us here that we did not earn it. We did not count. We are not counted as righteous because we have earned it, because we have obeyed something, because we have done the work to receive righteousness. He's saying here that because of their faith in God, then they are counted as righteous. In verse 6, David also spoke of this when he described the happiness of those who are declared righteous without working for it. Oh, what joy for those whose disobedience is forgiven, whose sins are put out of sight. Yes, what joy for those whose record the Lord has cleared of sin. Isn't this amazing? Wow, isn't this amazing? Your disobedience forgiven, your sins put out of sight. Do you know what it means? To put something out of sight? It says, what joy for those whose record the Lord has cleared of sin. Oh my goodness. So you mean that when I believe this God, He clears my record, my backlog of sin, just like that? So if I had a whole note, a foolscap sheet, or an entire booklet of sins, a record of my sins, God puts that out? Wow, isn't that amazing? I mean, what religion have you heard about where the person is not the one doing the work? Rather, it is God that is doing the work. I've not seen any other religion like that. Usually other religions have a requirement of you, or you need to bring this, or you need to kill this, or you need to sacrifice this every time, or you need to, you need to appease the God. You need to do this and do that. But all that is required from us is to simply believe that God, simply believe what God says, simply believe that Jesus is God. So if you really want to know if you believe, the evidence of believing is obedience. Obedience to what He says, obedience to His instruction. And we are going to understand that as we move forward in Romans chapter 4. Thank you for staying with me today. And thank you so much for tuning into this episode of our Bible study series. I sure do hope you were blessed by it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this channel on whatever platform that you subscribe to podcasts. Be sure to leave a 5-star rating if you feel so inclined. Bye!